real talk, part of this movement, because we're deconstructing this idea that was ingrained to us of having a 9 to 5, man. Yeah. It ain't happening no more, yo. It's different.
I hate to say, but the guaranteed paycheck, it was, but mentally it wasn't.
Whatever you heard of me ain't worthy to me. I'm just too cutthroat, verbal surgery. How you claim to know that stuff when your shelf's too high? I keep mine's at eye level. What you trying to hide?
Peace, 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 beautiful family. This is Dr. Walter Hidalgo, and this is the Know Thy Shelf podcast. The Know Thy Shelf podcast utilizes the metaphor of the shelf in order to extrapolate the self. And the way we do that is we invite guests to come in and share something about themselves. And before I introduce my guests, I want to give a couple of shout outs to a few individuals. Shout out to my brother Steve and his 2020 collections. Definitely check out his gear. Shout out to my brother Emilio and his highly living gear, which I highly recommend. Definitely, if you're looking for any workshops for teens and young adults, any coaching, check out our website, knowthyshelf.tv. And if you're looking for something to add to your book collection, definitely holler and check out my book. It's called Beyond the Four Walls, The Rising Ministry and Spirituality of Hip Hop. 11 years franchise. I wrote that book, my dude. Joint changed my life, man.
Congrats.
Yeah, man, grateful. And you're a big part of that. You don't even know it. As we always do, I also like to give a big shout out. And definitely I want to give a big shout out to, as I, said in the past, I quote, as it was once said, the DJ saved my life. So shout out to all the DJs, all the disc jockeys all around the world. Yes, definitely shout out to all my entrepreneurs, especially black and brown owned. This is our time. This is our era. It's a beautiful thing, man. So I want to shout you out because I have here with me someone that I've known for a minute, man. My brother from another, Providence's own. I respect him. I admire him. My brother from another DJ franchise.
What up, family? What up, family? What up, family?
Oh my God. Like I was saying, man, I'm looking at this space and inside I'm crying because this is tangible manifestations of what we put into the ecosystem a long time ago. You feel me? And this is such a blessing.
Hey, you know what's crazy now that you say that? We grew up on a vinyl era, watched it go through, and the CD era, watched it go through. Fam, I'm giving you an MP3 when we leave here. We on watch two different eras. Just that's crazy now that you say that. Fam.
I think crazy. Yeah, like we I'm turning 40. You there too, and it's like we seen life expeditiously throughout the last 20 years, on a different level, and it's like we still playing catch up. It's an amazing thing, man. But as we always do, I like to contextualize things and bring it back, my brother, because you're originally from
Providence, Southside.
We here, man. I always big up Prov, man. New York is where I lay my head, but R.I. raised me forever, you heard? So if we were to jump back into Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, you seen that movie? Mm-hmm. Throwback, super, right?
Classic for me.
What would we see? What would we hear if we were to step inside your household?
Inside my household, younger days, because I grew up in a church home. Well, not church, like a church family. Grandfather was a pastor, father was a preacher too, and I lived with my grandparents and my parents too. But you see a lot of church stuff, a lot of religious stuff in there. And my father wasn't really into rap music like that anyway, so he wasn't really big on me DJing it or playing it loud at first. So back then, my hobby, hardcore, was basketball. So that was the hardcore hobby for me as a child.
But see, that's crazy because you definitely have the height for it. You know what I feel me? And I known you for that. Yep. Because we went to high school together, my dude. So it's crazy. But you know what? I wanna speed a little bit ahead, man, because how much has your faith influenced your journey?
A lot. Because I still go to church to this day. Still go to church to this day. And I always let people know that I never shy away from it. Nothing like that. Fam, that's what I grew up on, and I'm still living. So therefore, Why change it now?
And the reason I'm asking this is because, as I mentioned to you, I wrote a book. It's called Beyond the Four Walls, The Rise of Ministry and Spirituality of Hip Hop. And where, for me, I always felt that hip hop was one way we can connect to the divine. And the fact that you're doing this and you're coming from that space, it's like you're a living ethnographic, here's my nerdy hat on, ethnographic research. You complement that because you're a living proof of what happens when you live your purpose.
A testament of it.
Exactly. Do you think hip hop is spiritual, franchise?
It can be. It's one of the only forms of music where you actually get to express yourself fully. Fully. How you feel on the inside, how you feel on the outside, and it actually touches other people. It actually touches other people that never thought they would be touched before like that. Like, wow, somebody out there really understands what I'm going through on this type of a level. So yes, I'm gonna say yes.
And like you also a parent.
Yeah.
How's that elevated you to the next level? Ay.
It's expensive.
Oh, hey, we all know that.
Motivational. Now you're looking at it at a way of, damn, I can't let this kid down.
Yeah.
I cannot let this kid down. So I try my hardest to be in my kid's life as much as possible. And once I had my kid, that brought on the whole motivation of, all right, there got to be more than just playing the records. Let's try another aspect. And that's when the whole idea of we got to get on the radio and a franchise report and stuff like that really kicked in. So if it wasn't for me having a kid, I probably still would have been out here partying.
I can totally relate. But let's step back again. I'm zigzagging over here. Zigzag Ziggler. Shout out to the Woo. We were just talking about that too earlier. What drew you to the art of DJing, man? Was it something you saw, you heard? Was it a friend or?
My best friend BJ, he put me on to a mixtape. First time I had heard blends, I'm like, wait, that doesn't go with that song. Yo, how did he do that? From that point on, officially infatuated with only doing mixtapes though. Like parties and stuff like that wasn't my thing. I wasn't. I just wanted to do blends, put them on a CD or back then a mixtape.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I wanted to be the greatest at that. But then as time went on, all right, it's more than just putting songs on a mixtape. You got to embrace the term DJ. It's more than just putting your music on a mixtape. Now you got to get out here and you got to show elements of things that you can do. All the way from playing a blend to just having a basic conversation about hip hop. So I had to learn all the elements of it. But mixtapes was the drive.
Yeah, it's crazy because I always say like we're like the sun. If the sun starts evolving, we die, right?
Yeah.
And the DJ had to evolve. Yo, anybody can be a DJ.
Anybody
on the low,
can be a DJ.
Yo,
if you got enough money, you can be a DJ. Yeah. So that's one of the things that's like, okay, I got to stay creative and stay consistent because at any given time, somebody that just brought their equipment but had the money to buy everything at once can come by for a cheaper price and bang, there's your night.
Fact, and speaking of that franchise, then this is the question I have for you. What's the advice you would give the young people, that young person that's looking to follow your path?
Be good at what it is you want to do as that DJ. So therefore, and I don't mean don't learn other things, but stay true to the craft or the type that you want to do. For example, I am a hardcore hip hop DJ, and it came through. Like it's pretty obvious the Latino music, reggaeton, it came through heavy, strong, undeniable, and it's great music. But as a DJ, I wasn't the greatest as I would be playing hip hop. So therefore, when it came to clubs and stuff like that, when they'd be like, no, we want you to play this, I'm not good at playing that. So I'm not gonna risk my whole career on playing the top 10 songs that they're good, but there's elements of DJing, knowing when to cut the song off, knowing when to bring the song back, knowing when to say certain words to let the crowd talk. If I don't know the language and I don't know when to do that, I'm not gonna be as good as I am as when it comes to hip hop. So therefore, many of the DJs just stop being true to that what they're good at. They want to hear this, therefore I'm just gonna stop playing this. Not me. I stuck with hip hop. And now the club I do now on Fridays is probably one of the biggest hip hop spots in Rhode Island.
So we have to be very conscious of that, and especially again, even if you feel bad or whatever, but you say something that adds to it by way of these two, you become part of it. So the most important thing that I leave you all with this is watch what you post. Word.
It's that young project baby who been live from the checks. A young thoroughbred about his bread with no need to flex. With the hunger and the hustle while I still keep it fresh.
The workshop tonight was excellent. The kids were engaged and Walter did a great job. He even had me and Donald answer questions. So can't wait for the next one.
I think his message was timeless and how it was delivered. It was engaging, meaningful, and powerful. And we took away something also, which is the power of relationship, whether it's digital or in person. So as they say, sometimes to get into Facebook, you got to get your face in a book. And that was one of our takeaways. Thank you very much, Dr. Hidalgo.
Session was excellent. The kids were really engaged. They really understood and learned a lot about social media and what their impact could be. I'm looking forward to the next session.
I think that's dope because, you know, I think the best way to sum it up is stay in your lane, yo. You know, like you have a niche. You're very specific. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's great to diversify too, but you've really mastered your art to the point where if you want that hip hop, you know who to contact.
You know where to go.
Or if you're not that person and you're looking for somebody to do some hip hop and Spanish, holla at Franchise and let them do a set with you, right?
There you go.
Like there's so many ways to kind of mix and match. So talk to me about Franchise Productions, man.
As for
how did it start? You know, the business side of that franchise, how's that been? Talk to me from its genesis to now.
Let's see.
When did it start?
Team
what was
Franchise
the idea?
started when my brother came up with the name because I had to battle DJ Ruckus.
Oh, legend
Yeah.
in the RI scene.
And we was just it was all family. Me, my brother, my cousins, and my boy Gordo, classmate Barbershop, and a couple other friends. We were nobodies. So it was like, yo, we're gonna go with that Team Franchise and see what happens. And from that point on, it has stayed that to this day. To this day, it's still called Team Franchise.
Big that up because, oh man, staying together, that's success, yo. That was one of the quotes that you know what I'm saying, for y'all on some Woo tip again, man. Like there's so many like templates as what happens when people come together, right? And that was one of the correlations I made even on the Christian tip of how Jesus brought people together, right? All people from the neighborhood, man, to manifest and create their own divineness, you heard?
If you can get a group of people that focus on one idea and they all have their own certain ways of getting there, so that way you're not stepping on each other's toes, but whatever you do, somehow somewhere's gonna enhance me, vice versa. Like the beats we're playing in the background, my brother does beats. Therefore, we don't step on each other's toes, but because we're looking for the same end game, it usually works.
Yo, shout out your brother. Where can people contact and reach his beats?
Nice Hits. Nice Hits at Gmail, or you just look him up on Instagram. Nice Hits, he's right there too. Just dropped his EP a couple weeks ago. So
lit, beautiful. Keep it in the family, man. Business own and expand.
Man, you know him all. You know my cousin Big Walt too.
Yeah,
right? You know,
of course. Come on.
I've known you for a long time,
Come
bro.
on,
A long time.
Yo, this is family right here. You know, I want to talk to you, man. How's this COVID situation been with you, my brother? Any thoughts, reflections on that?
I lost my grandmother. That was my best friend. I lost my
man,
grandmother,
yo.
yeah.
So I did too, my brother. This year, yo.
COVID.
Not to COVID, but yeah.
Due to COVID, besides losing a couple of relatives, on the other hand of it, if it wasn't for COVID, I probably wouldn't have parted ways with my job and went full time with what I do now.
Oh, you're part of the movement. This
Friday
is exactly what I'm talking about.
This Friday,
family. Please say it. Talk about that. I'm sorry.
This Friday will
you
make.
just made my year. This is the
this Friday.
You ended my year with a bang by saying
This
that. Go.
Friday will make 1 year where I actually left my job and I
Yes.
no unemployment. I just did it basically all off just the reason. It worked out, fam. It worked.
You know, I always say, you know, when people say there's a spirit to entrepreneurship, there's a spirituality to entrepreneurship too, Franchise, man. When you step outside of your comfort zone to take a chance, man.
I ain't gonna lie, scary that first month.
Of course.
Couldn't collect, and it's like, damn, I'm used to that guaranteed paycheck.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
Yeah.
And I actually was doing better than I was when I was working the full time. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I had been in that place for 13 years. At first, I never knew it was a big thing, but a job can mentally drain you. Like you pull up in the parking lot and you're sitting in the car for 30 minutes before you even go, because it's like, fam, I really don't.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
Bro, I was there.
This is so important, family.
Called my mother on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is it, man.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
it. I'm done.
Because it was doing something to your inside, man. If you're doing something to your inside, you can't express your outside. You feel me? And it's very interesting. You are part of the. So am I. Real talk. Part of this movement, because we're deconstructing this idea that was ingrained to us of having a 9-to-5, man.
Yeah.
It ain't happening no more, yo. It's different.
I hate to say, but the guaranteed paycheck, it was, but mentally it wasn't. It wasn't. And then when COVID hit, when people were allowed to just, I'm sick, I can't come in. Take the next 7 days off. I'm stuck. I was done. I was done.
Yeah.
So,
I'm happy to see that you're in good health. That you're, you know what I'm saying, still with us.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about this space right here. Where we at?
We are at WBRU, baby. It's been here for many years. 60s, 70s? And the crazy part about it is, because the story started off with, me and my father, like, he was a gospel person, and I was in hip-hop. He didn't like that. My father started the gospel show here at WBRU.
Oh, snap.
25 years ago. And then 25 years later, here I am hosting on the same radio station he started the gospel show on.
Oh, my God. The irony of it all. It's a beautiful thing, man, because you know what? There's a shift happening in our world, man. This is the biggest genre. This is the biggest thing that's creating ripple effects. And it speaks as somebody, I've traveled all over this planet, franchise, my brother, and they love us, man. They love us.
Let me ask you, where have you been? Because I see you sporadically here. Where have you been?
Oh, no.
Anybody ever talk to you for a second?
Coach Walter really takes time and energy with every single session he has with Jackson. Jackson leaves more confident, and he really feels on top of the world. I couldn't ask for a better coach for my kid.
Now that's a workout and a half for you.
You get vaccinated?
I am vaccinated,
I'm
unfortunately. I mean, I have my pros and cons about that. I can't believe I answered that publicly because people be.
But you're out in the public anyway, though, so people would understand your reasoning after. That was mine. I'm in a club, so
Yeah, I concur, man. I concur, definitely. And then with my daughter, I mean, she's not vaxxed. We homeschool, but that's been a huge debate. And I appreciate you asking me.
No doubt.
But it's not about me, though. But no, I've been good. I've been working. I live in New York. Shout out to NY. I've been there for, oh my God, since 2007. Went out there for grad school. Kind of stayed ever since. And eventually, I ended up doing what we did. You did was go independent. But you feel me? But I'm in education. I work a lot with young people and hip hop. Higher infinite power healing our people, as KRS says, is something that's very integral part of my life. It's actually what I focused on my graduate and doctoral studies on. A big piece of it was on hip hop. So that's why I said, like, you're like a real manifestation of all the work that I've been talking about, which is so dope. So that's why I'm humble. But enough about me. What we want to know, though, is what's coming out of your shelf, franchise. What you got for us to share today that's coming out of your shelf, man?
Things that touch me a lot. One is vinyl records, but I was like, no, let's not do that. Another thing that stays with me on a daily basis, because I'm always around vinyl. Even if you come to my house, it's vinyl. He'll tell you, vinyl all around the house, all around the walls. So I'm constantly surrounded by vinyl records. Another thing that's close to me that I thought about bringing, but I knew we was going to talk about anyway, is my son. So I was going to bring a picture of my son, but I knew that we was going to.
What's your son's name?
Alex.
Shout out to Alex.
So I was like, you know what? The last thing that is with me every day that's sentimental. Wow, it's crazy that you're the host. Mount Pleasant's graduation ring.
PH stand up, man. Yo, see, this is the other thing. I'm 2000, so you're ready,
Mount Pleasant's high school graduation ring and another ring of my nickname, Pooh, that I got the same year I graduated. That's I thought I lost these rings because my fingers were getting too big. And when my grandfather passed, this is like, 15 years later, come to find out, he had them in his drawer. He was still wearing them.
Oh, shoot.
So since then, once he passed, I put them around. I haven't taken them off since.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Any video you see that I'm in, you will always see these two rings on. Anytime.
Bong. I was definitely talking to somebody about how when my daughter came into my life, how that shifted the game, I was living in, I live outside of the city now, but still pricey New York, man. But living in a very expensive place and then having a child, like, you got to up your game.
There's no cheap place in New York, fam. There's no cheap place in New York.
Yo, you know, well, now it's getting everywhere like that, but just circling back with what you said, your son, I think that's beautiful because, once you become that father, it really does something to you. It adds that extra oomph on your battery backpack, it motivates you, like you said. So I think that's beautiful, my brother. If people want to find you, Franchise, where can they connect with you and check out your program and all that good stuff?
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat at DJ Franchise 1, Facebook and YouTube, The Franchise Report, iHeartRadio, The Franchise Report, Apple Radio, Spotify, Google Play, all those. And we are live on air or on the WBIU 360 app, which is completely free. We are on every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then we're back at it in the afternoon, Monday and Tuesday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Bang, you heard it first. Yo,
Sundays at 5 p.m., my bad.
Bang, bang. If you're looking for that hip-hop, you know who to holler. If you're in Rhode Island, you know who to holler at. As we always do to close the Know That Show podcast, my brother, we end with a quote. And this one comes from an anonymous person. And it reads as such. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Peace, family.
Pleasure, yo. Pleasure.
All right, stand up.